Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm Kevin.
And I'm Eric.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and bringing them all the way down. All right, here we go. We're back for episode 2 of Cliffhanger.
We are. We're joined once again by Sam. Welcome, Sam.
Welcome back. Happy to have you.
I can't wait till the cliffhanger.
Oh, I see what you did there.
The titular cliffhanger. Yeah, we're back. We're talking to episode 2. I think we talked a little bit about this, but I just want a quick recap. Do you remember your first time watching this movie? Your first experience with it?
I don't, like I said,
It was in the States.
Episode 1, I just felt like I missed the boat on it as a lifelong Arnold and Sylvester fan. I remember seeing the VHS and being like, why did I not know? And it must have been like the transition of me moving from Europe to the States. It's like, when did this come out? Why didn't know anything about it? I need to watch it. And by the time I watched it, I was like, this is amazing. But I've always had the regret of like not kind of catching it as it was coming out.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
for you,
I
you said
saw it.
theaters,
One of my
you said?
theaters. Yeah, one of my R-rated
That's
movies.
rad.
Yeah.
I bet it on the big screen it was killer.
Oh, it was fucking amazing.
I mean, if it ever gets released,
dude.
we need to go see it.
I guess
Yeah,
we just
that'd be
missed
great.
an anniversary, but yeah, they need to do an anniversary like re-release.
Oh, that would be fucking
this one.
awesome. I don't know where it is in the zeitgeist at this point.
I don't know, man. Yeah, I like you. I don't think I knew that this movie existed until I was like at a middle school sleepover or something,
Yeah.
and someone busted out Cliffhanger, and I'm like, well, what is this? I've never even heard of this before. There's a
Wow.
there's a Stallone movie I've never heard of because I was watching all that shit.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Cobra. You remember that soccer movie he did, the one called Victory?
Oh,
With
fuck.
Pele
Yeah.
and Michael Caine.
Yeah.
That's the one, the World War II one.
Yeah, they were like in the POW camp.
Yeah, and they had
or
to
whatever.
break the one
Like,
dude's leg
I
to
was
get him onto
watching
the
all that shit.
team.
Nighthawks, the one he did with Billy D. Williams. They were like cops in New York or whatever.
Yeah,
Because I owned Lockup.
Yeah, like I was watching all these, and somehow like I had no knowledge of the existence of Cliffhanger,
Huh.
which was crazy because the same year I went to go see Demolition Man, and I
Same.
was like stoked about it.
That's crazy.
So I don't know how I missed this one.
I wanted to get the little mini Taco Bell meal.
Yeah. So, yeah, but I watched it at the sleepover. I'm like, this is fucking killer.
Yeah.
I think I bought a VHS of it and probably watched it at like 50 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah. It was a classic.
But we're back to talk more about it. Eric's going to catch us up
Yeah, we'll
to
do
like where we're at on the plot.
Recap. Lady dies falling off a cliff. Walker blames himself. Hal blames him. Disappears for 8 months. Treasury is transporting a bunch of money in $1,000 bills.
Could never get hijacked.
Could never get hijacked. Impossible to hijack it. It's on its way to San Francisco. FBI agent tags along. Not been vetted, but no one seems to be concerned about this. Walker comes back to the small Colorado town that he lives in. Tries to reconnect with his girlfriend. She's having none of it because he just wants her to come with him. He doesn't have any plan on staying. And then we cut to black as a dog shows up and. And Schwarzenegger pets him.
The dog made the recap.
Yeah.
You didn't mention the Extreme Dudes.
Oh, the Extreme Dudes. That's
No,
right.
you
I
don't
forgot
need
about
it.
the Extreme
Well, no,
Dudes.
fuck it. We don't need to. There's a couple of Extreme Dudes.
There's some Extreme Dudes.
They're in the wind.
Yeah, they're in the wind.
It's amazing. We talked about that for an hour.
I know.
Last episode.
It was. I
Okay.
can't believe we spent so much time on the Extreme Dudes.
But so, yeah, we pick it up. We're on board the Treasury jet. Things are going uneventfully. The pilots are like chattering about, oh, there's a possible storm ahead. I appreciate that they're like establishing that there's a storm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we got the 3 cases full of money. It's like $100 million in $1,000 bills. They're like locked up in cages inside the plane. The tag-along FBI agent, Matheson, he's making chit-chat with fucking Bruce McGill, who we saw in Time Cop. He's
Yep.
been in a shit ton of movies, this guy. He was D-Day in Animal House.
Yep, that's right.
Is my favorite bit of trivia. And he like seemed like a tall, skinny guy, and he somehow became a short, fat guy.
Yeah, I don't know how that works. It's like so funny to go back to it now and go, oh yeah, that was Bruce McGill. Holy shit, he looks so
He's
different.
changed. Yeah, he was in Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
He's in a lot of these flicks, man. He's good. He's good though.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great
good.
character actor, and he's been in, I feel like, half the fucking movies that we've done.
So Matheson's looking out the window. He sees that there's another plane flying off like some distance away. I think we're definitely supposed to think that Matheson's the bad guy,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
This this rogue element that's been introduced or whatever.
Absolutely.
But back in Colorado, or back on the ground, I guess I should say, Jesse has arrived at Rocky Mountain Rescue Headquarters, and like it's sort of a rain, snowy mixture falling. Real weather, apparently, they said. So Hal and Frank are in there. That's like the helicopter pilot and the other rescue climber guy.
Yeah.
So Frank, the older guy, he's like doing this painting. Remember?
Yeah.
And
on the piece of glass.
And Hal, they must be very bored because Hal's like teasing him about it, and he's like, "It's a banana eating a monkey."
Yeah, and it's hilarious.
It's like, what the fuck is going on?
The whole thing was so crazy because like Hal is taunting him about it. It's like, you just don't understand art. And Frank literally has a banana suspended by a string next to his glass canvas.
Yeah.
And he's like, what do you think of when you think of who eats bananas? And Hal goes, I don't know, a monkey? And he was like, exactly. Well, this is the banana eating a monkey. It's a play on the trope or something like that. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
At this point, you start feeling uncomfortable because you know Hal's about to find out that
Walker's back.
It's gotta happen.
Yeah.
This scene was like pure filler, though.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Like, there was no real purpose to it.
It wants to show you that he's kind of moved on in a weird way with his
life.
life.
I guess they all are still like working together.
Right.
This group.
I just wanted to have more information on what this guy's artistic method is. I really got obsessed with.
He paints on glass.
He paints on glass.
Yeah, it's odd. But we're not going to ever get that closure. His paintings will be worth a lot more by the end of this movie.
By the end of this movie, they will be.
But so, back on board the Treasury jet, Matheson sees that other plane emerge from the clouds. It's a lot closer than it was before. So he tells the other two Treasury agents on board they were being tracked. Bruce McGill calls out for Travers, who was like calmly saying like nobody jumped to any conclusions. And then he walks up to the cockpit where the main pilot says, he's coming in too slow.
Yeah.
And Travers says, decrease speed and drop your altitude. So, like, if you're paying attention to the dialogue,
you know what's about to happen.
You obviously know what's happening and who's the bad guy.
Right, exactly.
And I don't know what the fuck the deal was with the co-pilot, who's just like a drone. He's just punching buttons and like nodding like nothing weird just was said.
Right
in front of him. But so back in the main cabin, Matheson is observing that we're slowing down and we're dropping altitude. So he tells the other agents to get your weapons out. And then Travers returns and tells Matheson, I have jurisdiction on board this plane. And Matheson, like, whips a fucking Uzi.
Like, what the fuck was this?
Case.
Like, what is this?
He's like, now I have jurisdiction. I can't picture any scenario in which this guy's, like, has a FBI-issued Uzi. In his case.
And also, they're in a jet. Like, what are they going to do with the
shooting?
guns? Yeah.
Right. I mean,
but so Matheson is demanding the other guys to get their weapons out, but they're not sure like what to do. I think we're all still supposed to feel unsure about who we should trust here.
Yeah.
Right? Travers is telling Matheson, you're overreacting, calm down, hand over the gun. And Matheson's asking the other guys, like, what are you waiting for? Can't you see what he's doing? He's hijacking the shipment. I love this moment because like our eyes are telling us one thing. It looks like this guy Matheson's hijacking the thing, but our ears are saying something else. Is pretty good. So now, after a pause, Bruce McGill and the other guy, they decide that they should trust their direct superior, Travers. So they grab Matheson and restrain him. And did you recognize, Eric, the other guy? We saw him in Universal Soldier. He was that guy with the really big hair.
Really?
They got beaten up in the bar by Van Damme.
No way. That was
another
him?
Carolco guy. I'm like, this guy's got a familiar face. I looked him up and I'm like, yeah. His name is Billy D. Lucas.
Wow. So he's in two back-to-back movies.
A stuntman with like hundreds of credits.
Yeah.
So Travers then pulls out his pistol and aims it in Matheson's face, which doesn't seem like what he would do in this situation if he was a good guy.
No.
But suddenly Travers turns the gun on the other two agents and shoots them both without like any hesitation. Travers, then he shoots Matheson several times. It's still a pretty good like twist.
Okay, just from the logic of this, right?
Uh-huh.
The two flanking FBI agents who are restraining Matheson, neither of them have weapons trained on Travers.
Mm-hmm.
Matheson has a gun trained on Travers.
No, they'd taken it from him. They
did
were
take it from him.
Yeah, they had him in like in a headlock or
Great,
like a full Nelson.
Okay, great. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, they had
retract
taken it from
Okay,
him.
I
Yeah.
retract it then. Okay.
I think they did even like one of them was pointing a gun at the
Okay.
in his back or
Great.
something
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
But so now the co-pilot is alarmed by like the sound of gunfire,
Yeah, well.
and the main pilot pulls out a silenced pistol and shoots that dude in the head. And that fucking pilot was a wild man. Like he gave a weird look down at the corpse, like, hey, that's gross or something almost. It was just odd. But so Travers then he pulls out a radio. He calls to the other plane to move into position. It's still unclear what the hell is going on,
Yeah,
though.
right.
Like how? Okay, so now what?
Right.
So now a British guy named Quaylen on the hijacker plane. He seems to be running the show. That's our first glimpse of John Lithgow, though we can't like see his face or anything because he's got like this oxygen mask and a ski mask on or whatever. We had no clue why he decided to play this thing British.
No.
It's not.
I
it's
have
odd.
no
It was an
insight
odd
into
choice.
this. It was an odd choice.
Unless I
yeah.
don't know if that was scripted that way or if that was just Lithgow being Lithgow. But everyone on board has got these oxygen masks on. They like pop the door open on their plane or whatever. So the pilots of the two planes, they get matched up on their speed and altitude and all that. And the smaller hijacker jet is flying like just below and behind the Treasury jet. And Travers like starts unloading the money cases, which I remind you probably weigh like 100 pounds each, and just like pulling them out, you know? So Quaylen is like, okay, let's make history. And then one of the pilots mentions like the weather ahead looks dicey. We got to hurry up. So Travers pulls on an oxygen mask. He pulls some lever on the plane and like the back tail of the plane, like the tail cone pops off.
Right, exactly.
They said they like picked a DC-9 to be this plane because specifically it was like the only plane with a tail cone that detaches like that.
Well, there you go.
Though I don't think this was like a model shot or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
yeah,
think
yeah,
they
yeah,
did
yeah.
it in flight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the Treasury jet like depressurizes. Travers begins to unroll this like big like roll of rope from a winch or whatever. Suddenly there's just like loose paper flying everywhere inside the plane. Like, where did all this fucking paper come from? What's going on in here? But Travers starts to feed that rope out the back of the jet down towards the other jet. And the hijackers have this like hook on a stick and they like grab it out of the air and clip it inside their plane. So Travers runs up to the cockpit and the pilot's saying, we're too close to the storm. And Travers is like, just chill out. This Treasury is going to assume that we crashed in the storm. Like, this is actually like a good thing, I think. So Travers then rigs a bomb up on a 5-minute timer as Quaylen is like radioing for him to hurry up. They had a convenient little bomb compartment in the plane I thought was weird.
So here's the thing that drove me crazy about that moment. They could have just let the plane crash.
Exactly.
It would have looked way more believable.
No point.
Yeah.
Right. Blowing it up in midair kind of spoils the whole game.
I had thought about that. And the only thing I could like think of, because it makes it more suspicious, like what the fuck happened here.
Right.
Except unless it's like we want the wreckage like scattered as opposed to like a wreckage and the cases aren't here.
I guess
and,
so.
And Travers isn't
like,
here.
like it blew
Maybe
up
they
mid-flight.
Yeah,
They don't
like
know
how-
why it blew up mid-flight.
But it would be so suspicious to blow
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, but
mid-flight.
they
Like,
never
that doesn't
know.
really happen.
Early
right?
Well, it does. Early 90s. I mean, you've had explosions like back in the day until like flying became so much safer. Like
yeah.
it's much harder to kind of put a jet back together.
If it's scattered everywhere,
If it blew up in air, let's say in
Yeah.
a billion
Yeah.
little pieces, than if it actually fell into the side of a mountain.
then you might have
they take-
mostly intact, or it's at least in a small area.
They'll take it back
Yeah.
to the hangar. They'll put a kind of piece it back together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. We love to steal man on this
no,
podcast, so I think that's reasonable. I think
tried
that's
to
reasonable.
explain it to myself.
Yeah.
So now, I feel like they had black boxes then too, as well.
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
they? They would've, like,
Flight recorders have
overheard
been
this
around for a while.
conversations
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
happening.
true, too.
Maybe they all, I don't know. Maybe the black box, he replaced it with that bomb.
Yeah, well,
Was in that
that compartment is where the flight
That's-
recorder was. Yeah.
Totally. But so Travers has got the cases rigged up and they're ready to slide down the line to the other plane. Then he hooks a little like rig on the line and clips himself onto it. And he fucking jumps out the back of that plane, man. And he's sliding down the line to the hijacker plane.
And that's a real fucking stuntman doing that.
That's one of the wildest stunts we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Even to this day, it's one of the wildest stunts ever.
I've been waiting to bring it up. Like, first of all, I didn't know how much of this movie was real because I've never really done that much research into it. I've just watched it and enjoyed it. But Christopher Nolan says his favorite scene he's ever done is the one in Batman
Dark Knight
3.
Rises. Yeah.
And I'm like, it's a total ripoff of this one.
Yeah,
And the fact that they
100%.
did it for real back then.
Yeah.
Again, why wasn't this movie a bigger deal?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think, and they don't even like necessarily make a big deal out of
No.
what we're seeing.
Right.
It's very casual.
Like
yeah.
it's very just, and it's over. And it's like some fucking guy, hold on, I got Simon Crane was his name. He got a special credit in the credits. It was like air to air, like stunt, like transfer performed by Simon Crane. That's one of the wildest things that's anyone's ever done.
Yeah, super
'Cause
bonkers.
so much shit could go wrong.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so he slides down the line. Quaylen is in there and he says something about like he's not following the plan or something like that. But he reaches the other hijacker plane and they pull him inside. What I did read was that when they really did it for real, like once he reached the other plane, they like, so he wasn't like gravity wasn't carrying him down. I think they had him on another line and were like sort of pulling him,
I see.
you know, and they like pulled him a little back and then he just unclipped and
just, like-
did a skydive from there because it was like going to be somehow whatever too unsafe to try to actually like come into the plane
Gotcha.
or
gotcha.
something like that. But they filmed this in Colorado over the Ute reservation because like European officials just wouldn't even allow them to do this.
Unbelievable.
And you were reading like the insurance company would not cover this stunt, so Stallone said like, you know, take $1 million out of my cut from the movie or whatever and pay this guy his money.
Yeah.
It was like in the Guinness Book of World Records, like the most expensive aerial stunt ever done at that time. I don't know, but
And it's literally just this almost throwaway moment for the you know,
they
for the
didn't make a
plot.
big enough deal out
Right.
of like how maybe because you like assume it's like movie magic. They're
Yeah.
like, well, yeah, they wouldn't really do this. Like this thing should have its own documentary about
Yeah.
like the fact that they did this thing.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, like they do all those mini documentaries on YouTube every time Tom Cruise does a crazy stunt for a Mission
Yeah.
Impossible movie.
I mean, the shit that they would have, like the behind the scenes stuff from this movie would be
Yeah, it's gotta be
wild.
crazy.
Everybody remembers Tom Cruise like going up the cliff in the beginning of Mission Impossible 2. Now I know Stallone himself didn't go
Yeah.
up these like
But
cliffs,
this stuff was as impressive.
but yeah, because people did it.
yeah,
And yeah, the fact that you can like photograph, like get the cameras where they need to
Yeah.
be to even shoot this stuff is nuts to me. So yeah, he gets inside the plane though. Quaylen's fucking pissed off. He's like, "Why didn't you send the money down first?" And Travers is like, "I had a feeling that you wouldn't have waited for me if I sent the money first."
Great point.
100%.
100%.
100% he's
I
right.
was like,
But
yep.
he-
you're
He
right.
would have cut the line.
He would've.
and be like, "All right, now
See you later, bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can crash that plane or you can land it. You do what you want to do, but you're never going to see this money again."
But also, like, I feel like this is the thing that he realizes too late after he started this process.
that he's hitched up with like a really bad
yeah,
guy.
exactly. He's like, oh fuck, I didn't think of a contingency plan, and so like the tracker that we're gonna see soon is almost like a Hail Mary to make sure that he stays relevant to this whole
You
situation.
can't kill me.
Right.
But there's like nothing better than bad guys. They just cannot trust each other.
Yeah.
But they
yeah,
need
yeah,
each
yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Which we don't get that often. I really
No,
like the
no.
dynamic that they really don't like each other very much.
Yeah.
But so now there's 2 minutes left on the ticking bomb while the Treasury pilot, he puts the plane on autopilot. He hustles back to the rear of the plane. He stepped on Matheson's hand as he was walking. You remember like he stepped on his wrist
Yeah,
or whatever?
yep,
Fatal
yep.
mistake. Because we see that Matheson's not quite dead. He's got a little bit of life left in him. Now there's this British woman named Crystal who's flying the hijacker plane. And she's like, once we hit the storm, like shit isn't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm not going to be able to hold us steady or whatever. So the Treasury pilot, he's got the cases like ready to go, and Matheson is suddenly like there with his Uzi, and he's like, "You fuck," and just starts shoots him, pumps him full of lead. Man, the Treasury agent falls out the back of the plane, but I guess he like nudges the cases, and the cases start sliding down. And the dude who did the fall was like the same guy who did the
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
zip line.
That
thing.
makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Matheson comes down to the back of the plane and he just starts shooting up the hijacker plane with his Uzi.
I love that he's not even like thinking about how am I going to get out of this?
Right. No,
he knows he's dead anyway,
he's
right?
dead.
He's been shot up so much. He probably knows.
Well, you probably,
I'm gonna die.
but he could have just been like, "Yo, man, get back in there and freaking land this
Try to
plane."
fly this thing.
Yeah.
I don't know that Matheson knows how to fly. I don't know, but yeah, he's more concerned with a little retribution.
Yeah, right. Revenge is the only thing he sees now.
Yeah, so he shoots out the windshield and the fuselage. He's pumping it full of holes of the hijacker plane. This hijacker steps into the doorway of the plane with like a sniper rifle.
Yeah.
And Matheson shoots him up. And it's going to be the first of a lot of times that I ask similar questions, but like, why was there a sniper standing by in the hijacker plane? Like, under what scenario were they maybe going to need a guy with a sniper rifle?
Always come prepared.
I was about to say that. I think they're pretty prepared, just like the gang at Die Hard. Like
Yeah.
they have a lot of contingencies here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, better to have it and not need it.
For you to be able to organize a heist like this and get a jet, like I mean,
Yeah.
you want to have. I mean, they maybe had a bazooka in there too.
That's true. That's possible. Yeah.
They might have to shoot the thing down. Maybe that would have been a better plan. Probably is a little like air-to-air missile or whatever to shoot it down after you.
Well, but think about
transferred
it like this: what is I guess what's the easiest way to shoot from plane to plane? I guess it's probably an Uzi over a sniper, but do you need the sniper
one
for
of those,
distance?
You need one of those 50 caliber rifles with like the like really big bullets.
Okay, well, I'm going to steel man this a little bit. Like the plane is supposed to go off without a hitch. They weren't expecting to have to crash the plane.
No, they weren't thinking that wasn't going to be needed. That wasn't supposed to happen.
That everything goes according to plan. They land, but the feds catch wind of them before they
might get a
expected to,
standoff?
and they might have a standoff. At which point
Maybe
you
a
might
sniper.
need a sniper to pick some dudes off, right?
I like it.
Plus,
man.
where would they have landed? Probably in some type of a rocky kind of terrain.
I think they're
Exactly.
flying.
Airport in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
I think their plan probably involves them like landing in Mexico.
Yeah,
That's my
That's also
thought
possible.
with them is they're like not. They were
Like, I mean,
probably
in Colorado,
They
this
probably
seems
started
reasonable.
in Canada and
Like-
are planning to land in Mexico.
Like Bodie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bodie.
absolutely. Just like Bodie, man. and Rosie, was it? So, Matheson shoots up the hijacker plane some more. We see like hydraulic fluid start to leak. There's this black hijacker named Kynette. He's like saying, what should we do with like our wounded guy, the sniper guy? And I love that bit where Clan's like, yeah, we'll get him to a hospital. And they just chucked him out the door.
Yeah. It's like
Brutal.
he should get to a hospital quickly, and so
That-
kicks him out of the plane.
That dude, Kynette was played by Leon, just a single name.
Oh yeah, okay,
actor.
okay.
He is an all-time like great bad guy performance.
Yeah.
though. He's just
Yeah.
like, the only thing I know him from other than this was he was in Cool Runnings. He was like one of the Jamaican bobsled team.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know
Guys.
that.
But every line he delivers is like a sort of a threatening, vaguely threatening line.
I mean, I always love to create drinking games on this show. And so my drinking game for this one while I was watching was like every time he says something insane, take a drink. And every line he has is insane. So there is no point at which he's going to speak and you're not going to take a drink.
So Crystal complains that she's losing control of the plane, right? The cases are like halfway down the line between the planes when the timer on the bomb goes off. So a fireball like engulfs the whole treasury jet and the cable breaks free. The explosion was like pretty great.
Great,
It looked like
yeah.
probably what a plane exploding from a bomb would look
Yeah,
like.
just like a
It's just like
ball of fire.
it was pretty good. So now the cases, though, they're still dangling from the end of the line, and they're trying to reel them back in. And like, if you had 300 pounds of weight and the wind resistance, you could never.
Never gonna happen.
You need a winch to pull that back.
Yeah, yeah.
Think about the panic. You see the money right there
Oh my
within
God,
your
dude.
grasp.
It's pretty
Ugh.
good. Those shots of it dangling there too were like memorable.
Yeah.
you know?
Oh, I
Um,
know. Exactly.
So things are getting bumpy. Crystal says, we're losing one of the engines. Suddenly the cases, though, they break free from the end of the cable and they fall down like into that mountainous terrain, like thousands of feet below. So they detach the cable, let it go, close up the door. Quaylen's like, this is your idea of a foolproof plan, you stupid bastard.
You stupid bastard.
Stupid bastard.
See, I prefer that line in British English.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's good.
Well, no. I mean, and The quote that, again, like I hinted at in the first episode that we'll get to in the last episode.
Is still to come?
Yeah, it doesn't work as well in my mind if it's said in John Lithgow's regular voice. I'm just going to continue to foreshadow this line of dialogue that 12-year-old me thought was the height of screenwriting.
This is the first moment where we see just Quaylen constantly antagonizing Travers.
Yeah.
The whole rest of the movie is just like they're both needling him.
They're both so annoyed with each other.
Oh yeah, they hate each other so much.
So Quaylen asks Crystal what kind of shape is the plane in. Crystal says we've lost all the hydraulics, like we're going down, and she preps for an emergency landing. All the hijackers start bracing for a crash landing. That's when Quaylen tells Travers, you might not want to survive this.
Great line.
Yeah.
Crystal then is like barking orders at her co-pilot, and they're getting closer and closer to the mountains. And she somehow finds like a relatively flat patch of land to put down on. It's pretty miraculous, like piloting.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, like, unless it's cliffs, a snowy mountainside's probably one of the better.
If you can hit the down slope.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stories of people surviving a 30,000-foot fall.
Yeah.
What was the deal with like that? The Alive,
they did crash into a mountain too. So
and a bunch of people survived.
Yeah,
somehow.
a bunch of people survived it. Yeah.
But somebody literally fell off 30,000 feet or whatever it was, 20,000 feet from an airplane with no parachute, and they caught a slope. Just so
And just
where
slid down the whole way.
maybe broke an arm, but that was it.
That's
That's a true story.
That's like Temple of Doom shit when they
That's
jumped
fucking-
out
yeah,
of the
with
plane
the-
with the little raft.
I
Yeah.
hate that. I love the Indiana Joneses. That scene, even as a kid, I was like, this is such bullshit.
I don't know. It seems pretty believable based on what you just said here. But no, so it's still a brutal crash landing though as they come down. They're like clipping trees and rocks and shit, or like battering the plane. The
Again,
wings
a very believable scene.
Great.
It was
Yeah.
good,
well
like
done.
model. It was a model
All
shot,
model shot,
obviously, but it looked good though.
It was great. Yeah.
So yeah, like the fuselage breaks in half and the tail separates away, and finally they come to a stop with the little front part, the nose of the plane, is like hanging off the edge of a cliff.
It has to hang off the edge of a cliff.
This is a cliffhanger.
Right.
So we're like at the 30-minute mark of the movie, and the first 30 minutes of this movie has had two of the most incredible bits of like action that we've ever seen in an action
Just
movie.
immediately. Yeah.
It's like set a high bar.
With barely any guns going off.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
Right.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. Now, elsewhere, the two extreme dudes, they seem to have heard the crash, but they like mistake it for thunder. But it was kind of weird because the one guy's like, "Man, did you catch that thunder?" And the other dude's like, "That's too loud for thunder, man.
Yeah.
Let's go."
Let's go.
And it's like, well, this is weird that you're
Should
like,
we have a conversation about
like,
this?
what
then?
was it? And like, I mean, I don't know, but they don't care, dude. They jump off, they do their base jump, which is crazy because then it cuts to some dudes who are like 20,000 feet in the air.
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
clearly
yeah, yeah,
had
yeah.
come out of a plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the
Nowhere
peaks,
near a
the
cliff.
peaks of mountains are 10,000 feet below them.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
that's
also
the-
love that like their dialogue is so inane and unnecessary, clearly written by a screenwriter emulating the lingo, and also
probably his deadbeat son.
yeah,
Or something like just watching MTV all the time.
and it was so obviously ADR'd because they're both doing the fake studio screen. Dude, this is so crazy. Like you would not hear each other
while they're free falling.
While they're free falling.
That was like the scene in Point Break when they were like all like dapping up each other and like talking to each other. Fucking amazing. I love this ground rush shit. Yeah. It is weird. Yeah, you could not talk in the middle of free fall, I don't think. But so back at the crash site, Crystal has discovered her co-pilot's dead. The plane is not hanging off the edge of a cliff anymore.
It's like literally
It's just definitely not off the edge of a cliff
nope.
anymore. But so in the cabin of the plane, we finally get a look at Quaylen, and he doesn't really have like the scary bad guy look. He
just looks like John Lithgow.
he looks like he looks like someone's dad. He looks like the dad from Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah, right, exactly.
No, he's like a less threatening Hans Gruber.
Yeah.
Is how I think of him.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
But his whole squad is like Temu version of Hans Gruber's crew. You know, like this very diverse international group of
100%.
goons.
100%.
This is apparently the heyday though for just like straight up bald guys.
Dude.
I think because Lithgow's bald,
Yeah.
Travers bald,
Yeah.
the pilot of the hijacker plane was bald,
Yeah.
the pilot of the Treasury jet was just straight up bald. They had
Yeah.
like the the Hulk Hogan like horseshoe.
Yeah.
And the woman reminds me of Jeremy Irons' character's woman in Die Hard 3.
Yeah, for sure.
Hans Gruber's brother, yeah?
Yeah.
That's right.
That was, Jeremy Irons was Hans. Hans Gruber's brother.
Yeah.
His girl,
Simon Gruber.
Simon, that's right. Simon Says.
Yeah. So Quaylen is like got a gun in Travers' face. He's like, you thought of everything except what's happening now. And all the hijackers are like ready to blame Travers for the failed plan. They want to kill him. And Travers was like, we're partners, man. And Quaylen's like, no, we were partners. And he's like, give me that tracking device, that can help him locate the money. This is kind of his first little bit where he's like, don't make him ask you twice.
Take a drink, everybody.
I love it.
Not a single normal line of dialogue in this whole movie.
Everything that he says is like this idle threats. Don't make him ask you twice. So Travers hands it over and he tells Quaylen, only I know the code that you need to access this thing.
It's like, didn't he say something like 50,000
there's
different
50,000
potential
different
permutations?
code key combinations or some shit.
Yeah.
Which is not that many, by the way.
Right. I
But
mean,
you don't want to just randomly.
No, you don't.
like-
but I mean, you're used to this day and age, a million.
Oh, yeah, it's
whatever.
like billions upon billions of
but
combinations.
50,000
yeah.
is like, you could literally probably crack it yourself in a week.
In a couple, I mean, like, what else are you gonna do on that fucking mountain other than hike? Like, you could just like 1 1 1 1 1
That's
1
true.
1 1 1 2.
So
Unless they have a lockout feature, but I don't think it had a lockout. feature.
No, it's not an iPhone. No.
So now this British hijacker guy named Delmar steps out. He wants a piece of Travers all of a sudden. And I love that Travers is like up for it. He's like, we should break your fucking neck. And he's like, well, come on, break my fucking neck. And like, he wants to fight the guy.
Yeah, fuck yeah, he
I
does.
love that.
I mean,
shit.
think
He
about the
didn't
adrenaline rush these guys got.
Oh,
They
I
just
know.
survived the plane crash.
He's not taking any shit. I love that.
No, they're not seeing clearly. I mean, all they're seeing is red. I mean, they probably got full on tunnel vision
Yeah.
right now.
It's kind of a unique dynamic. Like we said, we got these two bad guys who don't really like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like they sort of probably wish they could kill the other person, but they
Oh
need him.
yeah,
Or whatever.
without a doubt.
So Travers says, you're
Travers would kill all of them if he could, though. Does
Yeah.
he need them for anything?
No, exactly. He
Travers?
doesn't need them. He's just outnumbered.
Yeah.
He's
Right.
outnumbered. He probably does he even have a gun.
Not at this
I don't know
point.
if
No,
he
at
has
this
a
point,
gun.
he doesn't have a gun.
But Travers is saying, like you guys are going to need all the money in those cases to buy your way out of this.
Yeah.
So, and you're not going to find the cases without my help. Now, there's this long-haired goon that he's like, how are we ever going to get out of the mountains even if we find the money? And Crystal says, I think I found a frequency on the radio. So Crystal then sheds her British accent and starts putting out this distress call. She's like fucking full-on Hans Gruber,
Yeah.
dropping the accent, another like Die Hard ripoff.
Yeah.
So the actress's name is Carolyn Goodall, and fellas, I started Googling and I fell down a wormhole about this woman because they had said on the commentary track that like, oh, she fell in love with like the cameraman, this Italian cameraman on the movie,
Yeah.
and they got married. And I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. So I was on IMDb like looking it up, and I saw that she had married this Italian guy. She'd also gotten a divorce in 1993, the year the movie came out. And I was like, and it was someone else that she was married to was a link you could click on. I clicked on it, and the guy she was married to before is an actor in this movie. So I'm like, so she must have been like fucking cheating on her husband
Yeah,
while they were on
100%.
set here, and he was also part of the production.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
And I'll soon get to the reveal of who her
Oh,
former
wow.
husband was.
Wow.
He's going to turn up here in a little bit. But so
Wait. Okay. All
yeah,
right.
no,
Okay.
it's,
all right.
you would never guess it. It's
Oh,
a
okay.
very minor character, but it's
Okay,
just like
okay.
so this chick, they must have got on this job together, and then she like started cheating on her husband with some
Wow.
Italian camera guy.
I wonder. I would love to believe that. So she's got a real role, and if her husband has got such a small role, I wonder if she like, hey, Rennie, toss me a bone. Give my husband just like
Can
a
you get my
bit-
husband apart?
Right, exactly. And so not only did she get her husband apart on this movie, she then
She
just starts
cuckolded
fucking
him.
another guy.
Nice.
Just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So she puts out this distress call, and Hal answers at Rocky Mountain Rescue Headquarters. And it's a little bit weird geographically because Rocky Mountain National Park is like nowhere near like the flight path from Denver to San Francisco. So I don't know how this has happened exactly, but Crystal says, I'm with a group of hikers. We lost our bearings in the storm. He tells her, calm down, asks how many people. Quaylen tells her to tell him 5.
I thought this was a cool gesture, like just the way he doesn't even look at her, he just holds up 5 fingers.
I don't know why he asked her to lie about the number of people that they had. Though.
Yeah, it didn't really
it's
mean
sort of
anything.
strange.
Yeah.
But she says, I don't know where we are, but she starts to describe like the landscape or whatever. So Jesse is there as well listening, and she says, that sounds like Combe Bluff, but we can't fly a helicopter up there in this storm. So Hal says, don't worry, help's on the way. You're going to be all right. And Crystal starts talking about Billy. Billy's going into shock. He needs insulin. Please hurry. Which really impresses Quaylen. Quaylen's caressing her face and turns to Travers and is like, we need insulin. Would you have thought of that? It's a fucking weird moment.
Dude.
But it's memorable.
Also, how unfortunate that poor Billy starts going into insulin shock. Oh, the timing.
So maybe it's we were supposed to be back home, and I don't know what the fuck.
Movie's flawless once again. I keep trying to poke holes in it, and it just fail at every turn.
But so Jesse speeds back down to her house and finds Walker, that's Stallone, getting ready to leave. I never had really noticed it before, but Walker was tossing a bunch of climbing gear in the back. So it's important to establish he's got his climbing gear. Okay, so she explains the situation, says Hal's gone up into the storm alone to try to rescue these people. Walker's like, well, Hal's a good climber. He can handle it himself. Mm-hmm. And Jesse says, if the storm gets worse, Hal's going to need help. You've got emergency medical training. You're a better climber. And Walker's like, I'm the last person that Hal wants to see.
That's true.
That's 100% true.
100%.
That's going to fuck the whole mojo up, probably.
Oh, yeah.
So Walker's like, look, I haven't climbed in months. He says, you lose the feel. And she says, maybe you mean the nerve.
Ooh,
which is harsh. That really shriveled Walker's dick up.
Yeah, cutting his balls off right at the core.
Hurt his feelings, Jesse apologizes, but Walker says it's okay. I do feel at the end of the day, she's not wrong.
No.
He doesn't want to be responsible for anyone's lives up in the mountains.
Yeah.
Which is a very specific thing to not want to be responsible for.
And exactly what she's telling him you need to be.
It's exactly where we're at right now. So Jesse says, look, I know that you don't want this, but she reminds him that Hal is your best friend. She's like, if you go up the north face of the mountain, you can get ahead of him and beat him up there. And Walker continues to load up his truck. Jesse says, if you walk away from this, you're going to be stuck on that edge for the rest of your life.
Great line.
Yeah, it's a great line.
And 100% accurate.
Yeah. If you don't confront this,
what's going on, or you're going to be dealing with it forever, right?
Yeah.
So Walker, though, he gets in his Land Rover and drives away. I liked the production design that the storm had gotten noticeably worse from the beginning of this scene to the end. The rain was blowing in sideways and everything. Now, meanwhile, back in Denver, we got Treasury Agent Wright. He's desperately trying to organize a search for the missing plane and money. The location where this scene took place was weird. It seemed like an airport. They were on a moving sidewalk.
Right.
I'm I don't know there'd be a moving sidewalk in the Denver Mint or whatever. That doesn't seem right, but
the Denver Mint's a big fucking place, all right?
So.
It's a big place.
So he's got his underling with him, and the underling's even if we send up a search plane into the storm, they're not going to be able to see anything on the ground. That dude was super familiar. His side dude.
Yes.
This actor named Zach Grenier.
Okay.
He's got 100+ credits, but he was Ed Norton's boss in Fight Club.
That's right.
The one who he beats
That's right.
up.
Yes, that's
he
right.
He was in Twister. He was Carrie Elwes's crony.
Okay.
Who was maybe we should listen to him. They'd never, intentionally put us in harm's way or whatever. He was Andy Kramed in Deadwood.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Another working actor, man.
Yeah.
But so Wright asks about a ground search, and the underling's well, there's no roads up there. So just then a couple of FBI agents walk in, and the younger, taller FBI agent is the one that was married to that dude.
Okay.
And I'm this is pretty sordid affair that she's
Well, I mean, you can see it because there's no way that
cheating.
Yeah, they weren't anywhere near each other during that shoot, probably.
No way. But don't if you're gonna cheat on your husband, don't cheat with an Italian cameraman.
Don't fucking shit where you sleep, man. Come on.
But yeah, that cuckolded FBI agent is shows up. Wright is telling him, if you're here about your missing tag along Matheson, I got no information for you. And they say, Matheson wasn't just along for the ride. He was working surveillance. And Wright gets confused, and they explain, we've been aware for some time that someone's been tracking the flights between Denver and San Francisco. We thought it could only be an inside job. which would make sense because I don't think you could do the hijacking without someone on board the plane on your side. So Wright says, a hijacking would be impossible. I had my best agents on that flight. And besides, the money is unexchangeable like denominations. It's useful to any thief. He's like, except this man.
Except this one man.
It's like a great movie line. So the guy pops out a folder like a dossier on Quaylen, international, like renowned bad guy, former military intelligence, they said, turned criminal, like industrial espionage, diamond smuggling, bearer bond thefts, all sorts of like Hans Gruber-like activities.
Mm-hmm.
If he's military intelligence, I don't know why he's British, though.
No,
unless
right.
Unless it was British
military
intelligence.
Yeah, British, yeah.
But so FBI insists, he's got the connections that he could pull off this crime and move this currency, and $100 million is like a big prize.
I'm just saying, I don't need another fucking Eric villain in movies, okay?
There's too many bad Erics.
There's too many bad Erics. Well, I mean, there's actually is. Have you seen the movie Haywire with?
I know I watched that with the fighter lady.
Yeah, with the fighter
girl.
later. It's directed by Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah, I watched that.
The big bad in that movie was actually named Eric Studer. Which is fucking bonkers because I hadn't seen the movie. And
Did you sue him?
I should have, right?
You should have come after him.
My buddy texted me after he saw it. He's like, dude. And I'm like, what? He's like, you're in a movie. And I'm like,
That's pretty
no,
wild.
not at all. And then so I watched it, and sure enough, there I was, Eric Studer as the villain of
That's
this.
not a
of
great
Haywire.
villain name.
It's a terrible villain name.
Yeah, it sucks.
Which leads me to believe, like, who hated me enough?
But
Anyway,
back on Cliffhanger land, we're up in the mountains, and Walker is sitting on this ledge, blowing on his hands to try to keep him warm. And I feel like there needed to be a scene of him like driving and having a change of heart.
right.
That was just missing.
It was
Last time
probably
we saw
cut.
he drove off, and then they probably did film it, but
Yeah.
he's changed his mind. Apparently, he's up here to help. Now Hal comes climbing up, and he seemed only mildly surprised to just get up to this ledge, and Walker's just sitting there.
After 8 months.
After
like
8 months,
I feel like you would be very surprised.
like, what the fuck is going on?
Like you could not. That'd be the last human being on Earth you would expect
Oh,
to see.
absolutely,
up there.
absolutely. Like you would expect Jesus Christ to be at that position sooner than Walker.
And he'd be pissed, not annoyed.
Oh, right,
He
exactly.
wasn't even pissed. He was just annoyed.
He's like, oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, it's like,
just like,
Jesus.
that's
Well, that's
weird.
really not the right reaction.
But so Walker says, Jesse filled me in. I came here to help. And Hal says, you should take your ass back down and go back to whatever hole you've been hiding in.
Great line again.
Yeah, it's a good line.
He's like, what the hell you come up here for? You trying to prove something? And Walker's like, I know how you feel about me. And then Hal gets in his face and they start like yelling at each other. Hal says, Walker, you did things your way last time, and that's why Sarah died. And Walker says there wasn't time for anything else. And Hal is like, well, I guess we'll never know, will we?
Projection.
It's a good line. And Walker's like, listen, Hal, it was a bad time for everybody.
No shit, Sherlock.
And Hal like grabbed him. He's like, "What the hell do you know about bad times, man?" And that's when he like sort of shoved him on the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, which is a
Pretty
good
great.
moment. Yeah.
He's like, you didn't love her, and you didn't have to explain what happened to her family.
Right, because he wasn't the fucking asshole who brought an inexperienced climber to the top of an extremely complex tower.
And that's where Walker's like, and you didn't have to look into her eyes when she was falling. Now drop it. And I was like, no, buddy, it was you who dropped it. That's a fucking good line. I like that one.
Yeah.
So he's got him like dangling off the edge of the cliff.
I gotta
which
believe
is
that's
a
one of those.
fucking crazy shot.
Yeah, and I believe that's got to be one of the moments where they raced wires.
They had wires around his foot.
Yeah.
They actually said they did this crazy thing where you could, like I said, you could take a cable car right up to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And there was one where you get up there and it's kind of flat up there, and they had all these sets that they had built that they would move close to the edge but not on the edge.
Yeah.
And but they're like 5 feet raised, so they could get angles where it just was a huge drop behind them.
Wow.
But then you could have cameras from like over the shoulder, like behind them and stuff, and
very
see it.
clever.
So even if you fell off, you couldn't really fall off the edge.
Also, when he like lets go of him, he doesn't pull him back. He almost like lets go of him right on the
yes,
edge.
I have that exact same note. It's like when he's holding him there, he's at a back angle.
Kind of, yeah. He
Right.
It's kinda crazy.
Lets go of him. You're like, oh, but I guess
He's just like, oh, I guess I'm fine.
he's balancing himself. Yeah.
right, exactly.
Well, like-
the reverse Michael Jackson.
Yeah, he's got him shoved off the edge, and Walker sort of just tosses his pack aside and is like, you know what? If you want to do it, then do it.
Yeah.
And Hal's like, no, you live with it. It was like fucking great work from Michael Rooker.
Oh,
in
yeah,
this
no,
scene. That was
Rooker's-
he's such a good actor.
Yeah, he really is.
A short while later, Walker and Hal, they're scaling up this completely vertical rock wall,
Yeah.
which is another just absolutely nuts bit of like climbing stunts by their climbers.
I have a note
It's
here.
not, the actors clearly, but
Right. I have a note here is like, are there only vertical rock faces in the Rockies?
I don't think there's very many at all. But there's a whole lot of them in the Italian Alps, apparently.
Apparently.
So Walker's got this like gun-like device that's blasting anchors into the rock.
Chekhov's
Which-
rock anchor.
It is not a device that exists or has ever existed. They frequently though in the movie I think like play fast and loose with like mountain climbing logic.
Yeah.
But because someone was saying like it's a granite wall.
Right.
You could shoot it with like a 45 Magnum. The
Right,
bullet's
it's
not
gonna
going to go
bounce
into the
off.
stone. It just you can't penetrate. It takes like special drills
Yeah.
and stuff to drill a hole out, and then you can put an anchor in or whatever.
Right.
But
Doesn't it just go in a crevice though?
I think he
it
just shot it into the bare
literally
rock.
shot it into a face of granite.
But
Yeah.
it's a great tool and device for this movie.
Oh, yeah.
You don't think twice about it,
No.
really. It's just like, oh yeah, of course they got stuff like that.
Yeah.
They must
Why
have
not?
stuff like that.
Yeah.
But so we see a couple of the hijackers are watching them climb up. They radio to Quaylen. We got two heroes coming up, and we'll grab them when they get to the top. These guys are so fucking evil. They say the word hero like it's an insult.
Yeah.
There's two heroes. It's like there's something wrong with being a hero? These guys are coming up here. They think they're coming up to save your life, and you're like,
Right.
you have
Just like
hatred for them.
Villainous for the sake of being villainous.
But so the two goons off screen, they grab Walker and Hal, and they walk them to the wreckage of the plane. There's like a big drop off in quality between the real locations and like the soundstage stuff.
Yeah.
Because this is just like looks fake. But Quaylen pops out. Walker's wants to know what the hell's going on, and Quaylen slams him up against the fuselage. He's like, "Where's the helicopter?" And they say a helicopter can't come up in this weather, so it's just us. So Travers tells Walker and Hal, "We've lost 3 suitcases, and we need your help finding them." And he's like, "What's in them?" And he's like, "None of your fucking business."
It was like took it up
It's
to 11
so
so
good.
fast.
He's so good, man. And Quaylen, oh, maybe this is your line. It says, Quaylen says, "Oh, suits, socks, $100 million, the usual stuff."
That's such a good line.
It's not the line, but it
Not
is a
line?
good line.
And he says, Travers here was good enough to bring along a tracking device. And Travers like, "Don't use my name, god damn it." And Quaylen just sort of stares him down. I think the unspoken bit is like, we're definitely killing these guys.
Oh yeah. We're
Like, you
not
don't have
living.
to worry about them hearing your
Right,
name, like,
exactly.
telling your name to anyone. But Quaylen busts out a map and he sort of points to this general area where the cases were dropped. And then they got Travers' tracking device, and they're sort of have these 3 little blinking red dots or whatever on this topographical map. This device is fucking ridiculous.
I want to know what the fuck this device is, why it
It's like-
exists. Like this. Okay, so it's got a headset, like you're
You
putting
look
over
into
your
it.
face because of the glare of the snow.
I think it was
guess,
cool
right?
as hell.
I don't know.
I-
It's a cool looking device.
I
Don't
feel
get me
like you-
wrong.
And the green kind of like colors and
you
stuff.
buy into it, but it's like this thing like knows the
topography?
the topography of the
But
landscape.
for 1993, how cool is that?
yeah,
I know.
Oh,
Is
no.
badass?
Of course, the government probably has shit like this.
I mean, the only thing I can imagine is that the it's bulky enough that it could have a satellite relay in it,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the topography isn't local to the machine. It's pinging a GPS signal to a satellite who has all the topography maps
Yeah.
on file,
Okay.
beams it back down
Yeah.
to it. And then
Yeah.
the tracking devices will obviously have an altimeter and a positioning thing.
Yeah.
This is definitely like a satellite linked device, right? So I can
Has
see
to be
has
because
to be.
it's connected to the GPS and everything
Exactly.
like that.
Right.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
There, okay, so we solved the problem.
Mhm.
So Quaylen asks, the guys, where these locations are? And Walker and Hal seem like they're hesitant to answer. And he says, well, if you don't recognize them, then you're useless. Useless items are usually discarded. And then he says, right, Travers? And he's like, get off my back, Quaylen. It's like good. It's total Hans Gruber shit. The whole like useless items are usually discarded.
Well, I love
is a
I
killer
love
line.
Quaylen's response too, which is, "I haven't even gotten on it."
Oh, yeah.
I was like, okay.
So
Is there some sexual tension?
I don't know. Walker, he seems like I'm just going to keep my mouth shut.
Mhm.
And the bad guy cocks his gun, and Walker seemed like he was like ready to go down with the ship. But Hal jumps in and he admits that, yeah, we recognize the area. And he's like, well, then let's go. And yeah, that is our end of chapter 2.
Yeah.
It's a fucking great premise for a movie, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's been
Strong
such a good setup that we're like, sure, they have a device because they need to know where the cases are.
Right.
So we'll believe whatever we have to believe to keep the story moving along.
And it's a strong justification for they were expecting a helicopter and they get 2 hikers. And so it's just like, it would have been super easy if there was a helicopter, but because we're going to make do with what we've got. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they probably have the device in case the cases get stolen.
Yeah,
Why
I would
they
assume
would have
so.
it? Yeah, I think, or in case,
Or maybe they don't have it. Maybe the inside job, Travers has it. You feel me?
Travers had the device.
But like, are you wondering why the device exists in the first place?
I'm just wondering how that technology exists.
Oh yeah, okay, but you can
But yeah,
explain yourself.
If it
why
existed, they would have it.
They would have it.
Yeah,
because
they got to
would need
keep track of this. I mean, it's
exactly.
$100 million.
Right.
Exactly.
My larger concern is why the VR visor.
I guess if it's in the bright sunlight, you need to be able to like.
Yeah, I guess so.
Or
I
at
guess
night.
so.
Yeah.
Well, at night you won't need it because it's
Yeah, but
Oh yeah, I don't know why. Maybe so that it can. Other prying eyes can't see it.
yeah,
That's also a good point.
maybe.
Yeah.
Except that Travers then literally holds it to everybody.
Look, everybody.
Hey, look, everybody.
You know what? Yeah. Oh man.
Anyway,
we'll leave it there for this week. We'll be back next week with a whole lot more cliffhanger things. They're about to start actually doing some cliffhanging.
So much more to come.
Yeah.
We'll be back.